Great to be joined here by John Settree, the Nutrien New South Wales stud stock manager. John, as someone that works across the state, what are you seeing at the moment as we are here with the Bowen genetics talking about the future of beef?
Oh, look, I think the future of beef is really positive, Hannah. It's, and we've heard that today from the speakers, Michael Crowley and Professor who spoke positively about where beef is heading. I think at the moment, what we're seeing though in the physical market is like there's been a big sell-off. It's because of dry times. People still remember, the 2018 and 19. It feels like it's only a couple of weeks ago, but they've made their decisions early to sell. But that's also a positive too, because when we add water into the system again, when there's rainfall, when there's green grass about the countryside, there's going to be a rebuild again. So people are going to be positive then. We'll see some really strong prices, as Michael Crowley touched on today. Like the Australian beef industry is wanted across the world. I think I think where our export markets and even our internal and domestic markets, like there's a lot of positivity in what our protein basis is in the beef world here for Australia. Yeah.
Absolutely. And do you agree that some of the science that we've touched on today, when we start talking about rebuild in the future, it's never before has efficiency and high levels of productivity and profitability been so crucial than in those times of rebuild. So, that's where some of this science is and research is really exciting and what might drive the industry forward as they build back up.
Yeah, that's right. I think science is now playing a part, and what the peaks have done in capitalising on genetics and their investment, and we're seeing that sort of return today with some of the information that we're now being told. But science is going to play a part in that rebuild. When we talk about efficiencies, be it through feed of conversions or delivery and processing plants, that sort of stuff. But I think too, as we've seen our input costs rise, and that's a big burden for a lot of people. Our costs over the last 7 to 10 years have just doubled and doubled and doubled, and science is going to play a part in probably letting us achieve some gain, both genetically, maybe labour wise in terms of some technologies and that sort of stuff. Let us get some momentum quicker. Might be the best way to describe it. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I think it's exciting to learn more about the research that we've been touching on today. But I think what I'm excited about is hopefully that the commercial market gets behind some of this research, that we really can see it utilised by more producers and really getting out there.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. The investment that the Peak family have made in terms of going down this track, and I think we heard Nick speak there. Like this has been several years in the making. They've invested a lot of their time, a lot of their effort, a lot of their money to show a return to commercial producers, and that's what underpins a stud program anyways, those strong commercial people coming back, buying bulls, buying genetics, in that sort of $7,000 through to $15,000 mark. And if they can see some really positive returns, which in turn is going to give them positive returns. I always talk about, seed stock is like blue chip shares. If you invest in it and you start to get dividends, well, you keep investing. That's the bottom line, yeah.
Absolutely, and I think that's ringing true for a lot of commercial producers here sitting in the room today. This is work mostly done by the seed stock industry that, is really, appealing to them as well. They're learning more about it. The two sides of the industry, I think, working together a lot more these days.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. I think there's some really good times ahead.
Yeah, and today's been there's a good roll-up of people. We've got commercial producers here in the local, northern part of New South Wales. But there's people in the room there from central New South Wales. There's some from southern New South Wales. There's some from other breeds. It's a real correlation of sort of working together, so that the outcomes are positive for the Australian beef industry going forward.
Absolutely. Looking forward to some more presentations this afternoon. But John, thank you very much for being here. Great to chat.
Thanks, Hannah. Cheers.